Hey everybody, it's me, Uncle Frankie. I was in the mood to make some ribs today, but it's been raining in the Dallas area for 3 days non-stop. So, can't really put a smoker out there because, the rain ruins the heat. Doesn't let you properly smoke things. Plus, who wants to stand outside the rain anyways? So, I've been experimenting with crock pot ribs. That's right, crock pot. I've been using my Instapot over here, but you can probably use any crock pot that you may have. And I'm going to make some pork ribs. So this is a 6-quart Instapot, and one healthy rack of ribs fits with no problems. If you got a 10-quart, you can probably do 2 racks of ribs at the same time. So my rib rub recipe is going to be located at the bottom. The rest of the ingredients are really simple. I got apple juice, liquid smoke, and apple cider vinegar. That's it. So I'm going to show you how to prep it and then use your Instapot. And we're going to cook it most of the way with the Instapot, and then we're going to put it in the oven for a few minutes just to crisp it up a little bit. Stay tuned. Okay, so of course you want to take your ribs out, let them make sure that they get to room temperature. Take them out of the package, give them a little rinse, pat them down with some paper towels. And then you can do one of two things. I like to take this little silver skin off. I grab it with a paper towel, and then you just kind of pull it. Some guys will just score it with a knife. And you can do that too if you don't have time or patience to take the skin off. It's better because then once you take this off here, then the seasoning will penetrate into the actual meat of the ribs. So you can see here also I cut the flap off because this was the spare rib style. So I had that little flap. You can, since you're cooking in the crock pot, you can actually throw that in there. And then once you finish it off on the in the oven, you can go ahead and season it with something else. Okay, and that's about it. See. And then the portion that has the silver skin on it, you can just score it like that because that stuff is almost impossible to peel off. And then with the little extra bits you got there, you just cut them off with your knife, and voila, nice clean ribs. Okay, so to the Instapot, I got a 1/4 cup here. I'm going to put a 1/2 cup of apple juice. Okay. Then a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. And then I'm going to eyeball it. It's going to be about 1/8 cup of liquid smoke. Alright. Now over here, I learned a little neat trick. If you put a little Ziploc bag on your hand, and then you fill up your shaker with whatever rib rub you want to use, or store-bought, really doesn't matter. You sprinkle your ribs, put a nice coating on them, you pat them down with a little Ziploc bag, and it doesn't end up on the bag, nor does it end up on your hands. So this is a nice little trick. Some guys will go ahead and take this and wrap it in plastic wrap, which is also good too. But since you're going to put these things into the crock pot pretty quickly, it's not necessary. So I like to leave a little bit of extra rub, so when I actually put it on the stove in the oven, that way it gives a nice little seasoning on the top of it after you're done. So we've got the little strip line here and kind of lay this. So we're going to put these into the crock pot like a little teepee, and then that way things don't sit into the bottom and just turn into soup. And that's about it for now. Alright, so now I got the ribs. I cut them in a section of 3 and make a little teepee. I'm going to go ahead and place my crock pot. Make sure you have it on sealed. Close it down. So now we got our crock pot. We turn it on, pressure cook. Now this one's already set, high pressure for 30 minutes. and let it go. That's it. We'll come back in about 30 minutes. We're going to let it vent, and then we're going to go ahead and put this in the oven at about 400 degrees, only for about 5 minutes each side. Okay, I got about 10 minutes to go before I have to vent and then let it go. So I decided to use that time wisely. I went ahead and cut the ends off some fresh green beans. I washed my baking sheet and I put out a little rack here. So the pieces with bone, I'm going to put them there, bone side down. And then the other pieces, I'm going to place them on this rack so they're not stuck against the flat surface. That way they crisp on both sides. Went ahead and set my oven to 400 degrees. And I put it on the highest rack. And that's where I'm going to go ahead and put my ribs. So again, I'm going to take them out, put them on here. I'm going to put them in the oven for about 5 minutes. Then I'm going to pull them back out, give them a brush of barbecue sauce, put them back in the oven for about another 5 minutes. And then they, let them cool down and they're ready to eat. Okay, so the pressure cooker has used its 30 minutes. So we have to vent it. Don't use your finger, you'll burn your finger. You wear a glove or something like that. There we go, it's vented. Oh, you don't burn. It's going to take a couple minutes to vent all that pressurized water vapor. And then we're going to go ahead and put it on this cooking pan or cooking sheet. My oven is already set to 400 degrees. So I'm just going to wait a couple minutes. The venting is completed. Hi, just in case you haven't seen what it looked like yet. Sorry if I disappointed you. Oh yeah, here we go. Take a look in there. Look at that. Alright, now these are edible as is, but we're missing that little crispiness. So we're going to go ahead and place these in the oven like I said. So we're going to put these on here. Like that. Nice and soft. Okay, like that. They are done. Oh, the bone's falling out of that one. Oh yeah. I'm going to just leave the bone there to give it a little separation there. So we've got this really nice juice in here. And I'm going to run that through a strainer and keep it. And then I refrigerate it. And after I refrigerate it, it looks like this. I cut the fat off of the top, so it's kind of healthy. So we're going to take some of this cold stuff here, or like I said, you can strain it and put some of it back in. And then we're going to put our green beans in there. And then those green beans are going to be delicious. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff in the oven right now and come back in 5 minutes. Okay, so while my ribs are in the oven, put the green beans in the crock pot with about a half a cup of the broth that came out of the ribs, or rib juice if you want to call it. Like I said, if you're trying to watch your fat, as I'm trying to, I went ahead and used the cold stuff that I cut the fat off, but if not, you can use the hot juice there. I went ahead and run it through a strainer just to make sure there's no bits of bone or spices that are too big. Set my pressure cooker there, plug it in, and now I'm going to set it for 7 minutes. So here's the pressure cooker, so I'm trying some time. And let's go down to 7 minutes. And there we go. So by the time these ribs are done, the green beans should be well on their way. Ribs just came out of the oven. You can see they're starting to brown up a little nicely here. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some sauce on the other side and then flip it back down again so bone side is down. So just take whatever your favorite barbecue sauce is here, or whatever you feel like doing. Some people don't want any barbecue sauce on it, just put more rub if you want to. Everybody does things a little different, no wrong with that. But you can see they're starting to get a nice little crust to them. Right. Okay, look at that, look at that. So then we're going to coat this, flip it over, and then we're going to put them back in the oven for another 5 minutes. And stay tuned. Okay, 5 minutes have passed. Moment of truth. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. There you go. Pressure cooker ribs for when it's raining or snowing or you just don't have the time. And by the way, these cook quick. I mean, start to finish, you can be done in an hour. So if you got people coming over and you need to feed people and you want to impress them, these look great. And I think your visitors will enjoy it, and they'll talk to their friends about it, and they'll be very impressed with pressure cooker ribs, Uncle Frankie style. So if you like this and you like my recipe for green beans, please hit like to this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll appreciate it, and stick around for more. Okay, so now I've let the pressure get out of the pressure cooker for the green beans, and oh yeah, look at that, look at that. Nice fresh made green beans. Let's take a nice little stack of this here. Put it right here next to my ribs here. Look at that. Fresh green beans, so some of the juice from the ribs. And I'm going to go ahead and cut one of those ribs so you can see it here. Look at that, super soft. They just break apart. Look, nicely done. Juicy ribs. You get nice seasoning on them. Okay, so hopefully you like my recipe, like the method. If you do, please hit like on this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Happy eating.